Thing that I'm starting to notice about my videos, you never know what you're going to get. But one thing you're going to get is me sitting in a car expressing how I feel about something. Well, today's video is nothing particularly on my mind, but I'm going to talk about women. One particular woman, a friend of mine, I was dating this girl and she lived in Brooklyn. Fellas, you never want to date a girl from Brooklyn. I think I'm just going to start making documentaries of different things that happen in my life, and I'm explaining them now. I don't know. I just met someone who was from Brooklyn, and it just reminded me of the time where I had a friendship relationship with this woman from Brooklyn, which I still do have a friendship. But I can remember a particular time being in Brooklyn, driving to Brooklyn, and she didn't live in. I just put it like this: she lived in the projects, so I can remember clearly going to her house and going up to her apartment building, getting on the elevator, going up, and she would seriously say to me like, "Yo, the stick up boys didn't get you," and I'm like, "What you mean the stick up boys? I didn't see anybody." And she said, "Yo," she was like, "Well, you serious? They didn't get you?" And I'm like, "What you mean they didn't get me?" And she was real serious and like, "Well, look, when you leave, I have to walk you back down to your car because somebody saw you." She was like, somebody saw you, and they're gonna get you while you're on your way down." So me trying to be a tough guy, I'm like, "Nah, I'm okay, ain't nobody." She was like, "No, I need to walk you that back downstairs." So these are the type of stories that I can remember. Like, back then I was just so naive. Now I remember one time, being in Baltimore, and she called me up one time. Now this haven't been too long ago. That story about the stick up kids happened years ago. But she called me and she was like, "Well, I really want to see you. Won't you come up here?" And she said, "I'm gonna be at club so and so tonight. Won't you drive up here?" Now, granted, it was a Friday, and like I was working, and I was like, "Sweetheart, it's impossible." She said, "Well, I have a treat for you if you make it up here." And I said, "What's the treat?" She said, "Well, look, I'm gonna be at club so and so." And she said, "Check this out. I'm not gonna have no panties on. I'm gonna be waiting for you." So I was like, oh my goodness, like, excuse me. I was like, oh my. So I started thinking about the way she smelled, what she represents. She was rough, but she was real classy, and she had me like wide open. She always had me wide open, but she had me wide open. She was like, "Come up here and see me. I'm not gonna have no panties on in the club. I'm gonna be waiting for you and this and all that." So I'm thinking, while I get off of work about 5, 6 o'clock, I have to go home, shower, shave, and it would take me literally 3 hours. 3 hour drive, 6, 7, 8, 9. Like, I probably would leave my house realistic about 7, 7:30. And I was telling her, "Well, sweetheart, if I get up there, it's going to be around midnight." And she was like, "Perfect. That's the time we're going to get to the club, around midnight." So I was on the other end of the phone like, "You got to be kidding me." And she was like, "We don't show up to 12 o'clock. And she was like, "Well, won't you come up here? Because afterwards we can go, after the club, we can go get some breakfast. We can," and I was like, "Yo, you got to be kidding me. You got to be kidding me." They party all night long. I didn't make it up there that day. It was just a little bit too much. I wouldn't have been no good. You know, Getting off of work, rushing, doing this and doing that, didn't have no time to rest. But I'm telling all the fellas, you don't want to date a Brooklyn girl. It's too much. It is too much. It's rewarding, but it's just too much. Peace.